Hi there, it's Parmdeep Vadesha, and welcome to the fourth video in the preview series for the Multiple Income Stream Super Conference in London from June the 5th to June the 7th, 2009. Now, as I mentioned before, even if you aren't coming to the Super Conference, make sure you get a pen and paper handy because you're still going to find this video very useful, and I'm sure you'll get some good ideas from it. So who am I, and what do I know about multiple income streams? Well, I developed a system called the Tycoon Method system around 8 years ago. And it's got two parts to it. One is property, making money from property, and the other is making money from online businesses. And I've used both quite successfully over the last 8 years, and it helped me achieve financial independence at a young age. And I just became a full-time investor from there. And over the years, I had lots of people asking me to help them as well, do the same thing, which I did. And it was only last year, 2008, when I really worked closely with a group of people called my Tycoon Mastermind Alliance, and that's a coaching program that I launched last year. And I just wanted to show you the kind of results that I achieved with that, because with that program I only taught the property part of the Tycoon method, not the online part, so only half the method was shared, and the results were spectacular. I mean, they were really good. I'll just quickly share them with you. We've got Charlotte from Manchester. I mean, all of them paid me £5,500 each for a year's worth of coaching. And in just 10 months, Charlotte from Manchester made over 420,000. Dr. Salim from London, 123,000 in 10 months. Nabila, 143,000 in 10 months from 5,500 invested. Maksoom from Birmingham, 245,000. Glenn, 216,000. Peter from Stoke, £154,883. And Sue, she's from Birmingham, I think Worcester or Birmingham, I can't remember now, but she's from around there, and she did very well. So really I wanted to show you these figures because they're the kind of results that the strategies that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video have helped people to achieve. And don't forget, if you're coming to the June Super Conference, you can meet all these guys and girls, of course, and you can ask them exactly what they did and how they did it. And in fact, I'm going to mention Peter, so keep your eye on Peter, which is the third one down. I'm going to mention him in just a second. And people, often ask how did they do it, and what did they do differently from everybody else? Well, they just basically used the right kind of strategies, the same ones I'm sharing with you now in this video, and they put them together in the right way and made them work. So, again, it's worth coming in June to learn how they did it. And even if you aren't coming to June, let's talk about the fourth multiple income stream strategy, and hopefully you'll learn something new that you didn't know before. So the fourth income strategy is all about splitting large properties into self-contained apartments. And it's exactly what Peter from Stoke did. He's one of my Tycoon Mastermind Alliance members that I just mentioned, and he made 154,000, over 154 grand in 10 months. And he made part of that from converting large properties into smaller self-contained units. And it's a great strategy, and it increases cash flow. But remember, it has to work with suitable properties. You can't do any property and just convert it. It has to be suitable. However, if you get a suitable property, it's very good, and it increases the value of a property. You diversify your portfolio. So rather than having, let's say, 4 or 5 very large properties let to families on an individual basis, so you've got 5 different streams of income. If you convert each property into 3 flats, you've now got 15 different streams of income. So in the old case, where you had one property go empty, that's 20% of your income. If that property is vacant or whatever, that's now 20% of your income is at risk there. Whereas if you've got 15 and 1 or 2 flats were to go empty, it's not such a big issue because it's not such a large proportion of your income. So that's really why a lot of people do this, and I'll give you some other reasons in just a second. And also, you make money from less properties because I think it was Peter at one of the Tycoon Mastermind Alliance meetings said, why have 100 properties if you don't need to? If you can get everything you need from just 10 or 15 properties, then if that gives you financial freedom, then why not? So what is a flat conversion? Well, basically it's just taking a larger property and dividing it up into smaller units. And I'm sure you've seen lots of properties that have been split in this way, wherever you live. So the main thing is, don't confuse it with an HMO. An HMO is a house in multiple occupation, which is different to self-contained apartments. So just bear that in mind. In a self-contained unit, you've got a sleeping area, a kitchen, a bathroom, and a toilet. Whereas in an HMO, people might be sharing a kitchen. They may or may not have their own bathroom. Let's give you an example of a conversion that one of my property tycoon discussion forum members did. So he bought 3 properties together for £650,000 in total. He spent £200,000 converting them into 12 flats, and once the conversion is complete, his income will be 80,000. That's £80,000 per annum. And that's a 10.6% yield, which is very, very good for his area. He's near Oxford, so 10.6% is very, very good. And also, don't forget that that property which he spent 650,000 plus 200 equals 850,000. That property is probably near enough worth £1.1 million. So he's increased the equity in that property, and he's also increased an income increase, because letting that one unit, £650,000 property combined as 3 properties, letting that would not get him anywhere near £80,000 per annum. It's only when he splits it into smaller units and lets them individually that he can get this sort of yield. So it's an excellent return. Now, why would you want to focus on this strategy in this climate? Well, the thing about this climate is you've got lots of larger properties in the market at the moment that aren't selling to owner-occupiers, and they're no good to investors as they are, because you can't buy the property, rent it to a single family, and hope to cover all your expenses. But you can convert it, and for the sake of converting it, which costs a little bit of money and takes a bit of time, you can get a fantastic income, just like this member did I just mentioned a second ago. I actually went to see his conversion. That's why I know quite a bit about it, because I went to see him and learn about it, because I'm implementing this strategy myself next year. It's not one that I focused on, but it's one that I want to, because I can see it working very well in this climate. Second thing that's really good is you can pay near enough market value for a property and still make a very large profit and make a very good investment, because in this strategy you don't necessarily have to buy cheap, you create the value when you convert. So it's an excellent strategy for maximizing the potential of a property. And if you use the strategy that I mentioned in the first video, options, you can actually use them with this strategy to make at least £20,000 per deal, investing just £1 of your own money. And if you come along in June, I can explain that to you. This works really well in more expensive areas, because you need to spend more to buy the properties, so you can split them up into smaller units and increase the value that way. Don't forget there's plenty of grants available from the government, and parking is not usually an issue if you've got a location near a city centre. So in some cases where property would be an issue, as long as you buy in the right kind of places, the amount of parking that you need to provide after the conversion is not really an issue in many areas. It's also possible to get most of your money out by converting the flats and then creating separate leases and then remortgaging the flats separately. This is what most people do. They put the freehold into a limited company, which is separate from the person who then owns the leases, which would be you, or somebody, or a company under your control, and then you would then remortgage the flat separately to get your money out, because remember, the flats separately are worth more than the building on its own, so that's why you can remortgage and get most of your money out. There's lots of other tricks for saving money as well, but these are just the basics we're covering right now. Just bear in mind that you require planning permission to do a conversion. Not all properties can be converted, and it does take time to get planning and complete the conversion. But long term, however, this is an excellent strategy, and as I said, one that I'll be focusing on myself. So make sure, if you want to learn a bit more about this strategy, or a lot more, because I'll be covering it in detail, come along to the super conference in June, the multiple income stream super conference. You can meet the Tycoon Mastermind Alliance members that I just mentioned before. And as I've mentioned previously, this recession is not about becoming a victim. Lots of people are going to become victims. You've got to become one of the few that actually profits and does very well from this climate. That's why I'm offering such a strong guarantee. For everybody who comes, they should be making £1,000 a week within 60 days of attending the seminar, or for any other reason, if they're not happy, I'll give them their money back. So it's a very, very strong guarantee. I know I can achieve that because I've achieved very good results with my Tycoon Mastermind Alliance members that I mentioned before in the last 10 months. We've been coaching them and they've done very well with these strategies. You also get over £1,500 in bonus gifts, but you must book early, and early means ASAP from today, because the seminar takes place in next week, so you haven't got much time. And you'll also get a free extra day with me learning how to set up online businesses, which is the online part of my Tycoon Method system. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and look out for my next video where I'll be sharing the 5th multiple income stream strategy, how to use property finders to do all the hard work for you. And that sounds like a good strategy, I'm sure. for many people who are very busy. So look out for that, and I look forward to seeing you there.